It is getting close to Oscar time of the year. Is it the 6th? When is one of the Oscars?
March the 2nd.
Oh, so it's coming up
This Sunday.
This Sunday. Let's talk about the movies this year. Mr. Maddox, if you don't know, he is a huge cinema guy and enjoys watching a lot of the movies. Obviously, with the length of the list, there's no way, unless all we did was watch movies all day, that we would be able to get through all of them. But typically, the movies that are up for Best Picture, he watches a lot of them, and I try to watch a lot of those as well. Which ones have you gotten through this year?
So I've seen 6 of the 10. So every year, 10 movies get nominated for Best Picture. I've seen Anora, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nickel Boys, and Wicked. And I want to see The Brutalist, and I'll probably try to watch that before the Oscars. So if I can do that, that would give me the 7 of 10, which is pretty good.
I'm just now looking at the list. I knew of several of the movies on here. I had no clue Wicked was up for Best Picture. Now, it's a blockbuster movie, and of course it should be nominated for a Best Picture award. Typically, movies of that nature that are so popular don't get put in the Best Picture category. What are your thoughts on why it landed there?
That was kind of a surprise. It's the first time since 1968 that 2 musicals have actually been nominated for Best Picture. So Amelia Perez is also a musical. So that was kind of interesting. And I think that's why when they expanded the field from 5 nominees from Best Pictures to 10 nominees was just for that purpose, to get more movies in that people have actually seen. Because the reality is, if it was still only 5 nominees, because that's the only category that does more than 5, then we probably wouldn't have gotten in. But they want to get some movies in that people have seen, so you actually tune in and watch the show. So.
Right. And Dune Part 2, a sequel, no doubt, is also up for Best Picture. It's just shocking. I will say from Dune, the cinematography is absolutely stunning on that movie. I could certainly see from that point of view. I've only seen the trailer of Anora. Me and you talked about that. I wanted to see that movie, but the cinematography on Anora, also from just the trailer, looked amazing. Lots of dynamic. They shot a lot in the shadows, and it's just really, really beautifully shot. I have not watched The Brutalist. I told you that The Complete Unknown, I've been waiting. I didn't get to the theater to see that. It just came out a few days ago, so I'm going to definitely see that. The Brutalist, quite a lengthy movie. Now, which of the ones are the ones you have seen again?
I've seen Anora, which is kind of a tough watch. I don't know if I would recommend that to not necessarily a family movie.
Right.
Complete Unknown, which is the Bob Dylan biopic starring Timothée Chalamet.
Amazing.
Conclave, a movie about how the Pope gets elected. So it's a fictional story, but I think it's a pretty, true to the process movie. Dune Part 2, which is the second movie in a trilogy of the Frank Herbert novel Dune from the 1960s. Nickel Boys, which is a movie based on a book by the author whose name I cannot remember, but Miss Fullerton's going to kill me for forgetting that name. But it's about a boys' correctional facility in Florida in the 1960s. And then Wicked, obviously, which is the musical.
Right. What of these movies do you... It's hard to predict what the Oscars are going to do. They're just about as hard to predict as the Grammys. Do you have a prediction for Best Picture? I have seen a few of these movies. Conclave was very good, very slow movie. Fascinating to me. If you're into history, Conclave is fascinating because we really don't know what the Cardinals do when they're electing. Like, it's very secret, and nobody really knows unless you're a Cardinal. But it is a fascinating look at what could happen if they were electing the Pope. But of all these movies, which one do you feel like stands a chance to win Best Picture?
Based on the award season so far, there's a lot of awards before the Oscars. The Oscars is like the final movie awards of the year. And so based on all the other awards that have happened already, Anora is probably going to win Best Picture. But it's kind of a 3-horse race, I think, at this point, between The Brutalist, Conclave, and Anora. So those are the 3 that have been getting the most awards at these different award shows throughout the year. So I think it's probably going to be one of those three, but if I had to pick one, I would say it would be Nora. Not my favorite movie of the year, even among the Best Picture nominees, but that's what it's looking like right now.
Yes. So I'd love to ask you, if you got to pick Best Picture out of this list that you've seen, which one would you have picked?
I would probably go with Dune Part 2. That was my favorite movie of the year when it comes to the Best Picture nominees. The thing that probably hurt it the most is that, number one, it's 2 of 3. So typically, like with the Lord of the Rings saga, the Academy wouldn't give like all the Oscars to the second movie because they kind of want to reward it at the end of the trilogy. So, and plus it got released like back in March. So it's been a long time since people have really thought about it. So Dune Part 2 was my pick probably. I thought it was really good. But if not, I really like Conclave too. So Conclave is on Peacock. If you've got a Peacock subscription, you can get on Peacock and watch that right now. I thought it was really good and probably the easiest to watch of a lot of these. Complete Unknown also I really enjoyed. Yeah. A lot of music in that one. It's not a musical, but it is a lot of Bob Dylan music, and I'm not even a big Bob Dylan fan, but I really enjoyed seeing that one in the theaters. It was a lot of fun. I had a good time at Wicked. Again, really long movie, but it moved pretty well, and obviously 2 great actresses at the forefront of that one, doing a great job.
They should have put Wicked Part 1 because it's not complete.
Yeah, it is going to be a sequel. I know you don't like the Part 1.
I can't stand sequels. I like it absolutely. I get so angry leaving a theater if it's a Part 1, Part 2 type thing. So I haven't seen Wicked yet, and I'm not going to until the second one comes out. So I guess I'll get to wait a year or two. All right, real quick, we can't go through all of these categories. It's just too much. But I do definitely want to do the lead, the actor in leading role, and then and get your what you think on that, and then I also wanted to hit cinematography. So, leading actor.
Leading actor is going to be a 2-horse race. So you're either going to have Adrian Brody win for The Brutalist, or Timothy Chalamet will win for A Complete Unknown. And that's going to be pretty interesting because Timothy Chalamet is pretty young. He's 29. If he wins, he would be the youngest winner of Best Actor in a Leading Role since, guess who? Adrian Brody. He won when he was 29 for a movie called The Pianist. Yep. So if Adrian Brody wins, who's maybe the odds-on favorite right now, that would be his second win in Best Actor in a Leading Role. And then, like I said, you got Timothy, who's 29. He would be the youngest winner.
No hate on Timothy. Remarkable actor. I think Adrian will take this one.
I do too.
Okay, actress.
Actress. So going to leading role, I'm looking at Mikey Madison and Demi Moore here. It's going to be one of those two. Demi Moore's won the most precursors at this point, but Mikey Madison could definitely sneak in there and win that one. It could be one of those two. Also in that one, something to look for is Cynthia Erivo. She's probably not going to win, but it's her second time being nominated. She was nominated in 2020 for Harriet, and if she wins, she would have the EGOT. So she's won an Emmy, she's won a Grammy, she's won a Tony. Only thing she's missing is an Oscar. So
she would sweep it.
She would.
Okay. I think Madison will take it just because of all of the excitement surrounding Honora. But it'd be interesting. I also don't think they'll give it. I hate to say that, but I really think Wicked is too big of a blockbuster for them to they don't typically, if you're looking at what they've done in the past, these types of movies just don't win a whole lot of awards. They just don't.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, like I said, really enjoyable movie. Like, if you're going to pick one to watch, that would maybe be the one to pick. But yeah, you don't really see a lot of winners coming out of those types of movies. Demi Moore, if I was going to pick who's going to win that one, I would pick Demi just because she's been around the longest. She's been, she's a little bit older. So sometimes they like to award people just kind of like as a career, retrospective award. Like, you've done a great job. Here's an award. So.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Finally, cinematography. And there are a zillion categories, so we can't go through all of it, but I'm such a film guy, and I love the way movies are shot and how they look. And there's a couple of interesting videos that you can find on YouTube. I'll try to drop a link below. Because of the dynamic range and the what new cameras look like, digital cameras, movies don't look as good as they used to. And a lot of that is We've got technology so that the picture just looks clearer and cleaner and better, and some of the art is lost in that, because a lot of these old movies had these were dark looking, and like they had all of these characteristics to them that made them feel a certain way and look a certain way. Really, really good cinematographers know how to light and shoot a movie and make it look beautiful. That's why I love this particular category. And unfortunately, I've seen none of these 5 movies. I told you I've seen pieces of The Brutalist. I have not seen Dune Part 2. I haven't watched that movie yet. I have seen the trailer and obviously clips online from both The Brutalist and Dune. Both of them are absolutely beautifully shot movies. And then there's a couple of other ones on here. Talk us through them.
Like you, I've only seen Dune Part 2 of these nominated. I know The Brutalist is a heavy category and a lot of what we call below the line nominees, so like your non-acting, non-directing types of awards. And so you could see The Brutalist win that one. I know Nosferatu is a contender here as well, because the cinematographer there was nominated previously for another similar film. That's more of a horror film, so we don't really see a lot of horror movies get recognized at the Oscars, so
Correct.
That's a contender. I know Miss Kathy Smith is a big horror fan, so shout out Miss Kathy Smith. Amelia Perez, haven't seen that one. Maria, I couldn't really tell you much about that, but so I would pick maybe The Brutalist or Dune here.
Yep, and I think Dune may take this one. I think that might be a category they're like, we'll give this one a blockbuster, like, and it's probably a more interesting, just because of the content, a more interesting film to have some beautiful shots on, especially with a lot of the landscapes and stuff, which honestly, The Brutalist has some of that too, because the whole movie takes place in a lot of interesting sets. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I can't believe costume design, Conclave, they're all they're all wearing red cardinal stuff.
Yeah. I guess it looks authentic, but that's kind of a boring pick. Maybe Gladiator 2 can get recognized here. That was a fun one.
That could definitely happen. All right, the Oscars are happening this Sunday, March 2nd. So give it a watch. It's on ABC and then Hulu. It'll probably be. Well, have they shortened it up some? They don't show all the categories on TV.
It's not too long. They do a few before, and it once it starts, like they get into the awards. They don't waste a lot of time. Like you'll probably see actress in a supporting role or actor in a supporting role be, that could be done by 10 minutes after the show starts. So
right.
They do not waste a lot of time. Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much as always.
Had a good time. Thanks.